Hello and welcome back to Jim Johnston Reviews the World. This is Cook It and Eat It, and today we're going to do some cowboy-ish. That's right, folks. For the first time on my channel, we're going to do our own version of somebody else's recipe. And this is one that comes to you from Cowboy Kent Rollins. And this is called Poor Man's Lobster. Come with me now, and let's see if it works. Saddle up all my cowboys and cowgirls, because we're going to do some cowboy-ish, just like Kent Rollins does. So what we got today, it's called Poor Man's Lobster. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to take some fish. These are halibut fillets. And we're going to turn this into a perfect substitute for lobster. Shoot, folks, this is the first time I've ever tried this. And on top of that, because I won't show you all my ugly stove, I've got a makeshift rig, and it's supposed to be a full roaring boil, and it's been a while, and it's just getting up to a solid boil. So let's see what happens. First thing you want to do, you want to have you an amount of fish. I'm not even sure. This is probably about a half pound, a little over a half pound. Thawed out if it was frozen. If it's fresh, even better. And you want to take your fish, your little critters, cube up all your fish into about 1 inch by 1 inch chunks, says Cowboy Kent. Alright, I'm going to chunk all this fish up into the right size pieces, and we'll be right back to continue on the process. Alright, we're back here at Cook It and Eat It. Today we're making Poor Man's Lobster from Cowboy Kent. So what I've done, I went ahead and I took our halibut fillets that were pre-thawed, knocked them down into nice bite-sized pieces. On our contraption for cooking, which is a pot in my electric skillet, and I've pre-cut up a lemon. Calls for a lemon cut up into big chunks, halved, whatever. And we got this left aside for squeeze it on the end product. Now we're gonna need a cup of sugar. All I got is powdered sugar, so I'm gonna use a little less than a cup. And you want this thing good and hot and boiling. And the sugar and the acid is what's actually gonna do the magic in changing the texture of that fish and the flavor just enough so that it'll come across like it's lobster or crab meat. Now we want to mix this till all of the sugar is dissolved, and this comes back to a full roaring boil. Alright, we're back. We got our pot with our lemon and our cup of sugar melted up to a full roaring boil, and we're getting ready to start dropping in some of our fish to make our Poor Man's Lobster from Cowboy Kent Rollins. Hopefully I'll remember to go ahead and link his original video in the description below so you can check it out. But this is my take, and legit first time ever, like I said. So we got our pot a boiling with our lemon and our sugar. Sugar's all dissolved. Now we're going to start to put our fish in, and it's very particular. When you start putting your fish in, you just drop the little guys in. They're going to sink to the bottom, and then you're not going to stir. Don't stir. Don't stir this at all. Do not stir. You'll break that fish up. So you're going to put them in, they're going to sink to the bottom, and when they float back up to the top, that's where you're going to know that you're ready. And then hopefully you have a little strainer type thing. I have to have a spatula with holes, and you'll pull them out, and I'm going to put them on the paper towel. Alright, let's drop in some fishies. And they're sunk. Came back up. Sunk. Sunk. I think I'm going to do these in a couple batches. That'll be enough for right now. I'm going to clamp that lid on. Let that burrow come back. I can't mention it wouldn't take long for them to come back to the top, and it's looking like it. Some of them are starting to come up already, but a couple right here, they didn't really sink, so I'm a little worried about that. While that's going, so when you have lobster, you gotta have butter, drawn butter. What I've got here is about 2.5 tablespoons melted butter. Added to it garlic, chopped chives, lemon pepper, black pepper, cilantro. I actually made this up a little bit ago so all those seasonings could steep in there for a while. Looks like the little buggers are floating back. I'm not going to stir them at all. I'm just going to kind of push them all down. I mean, it definitely has changed in color. It looks more like a boiled or drawn lobster or crab leg than it does like a piece of whitefish. Okay, we're cooking up our Poor Man's Lobster. And as you can see, I've gone ahead and cooked up more than half of the batch. Again, first time I've ever made this, so I wasn't so sure if it was coming out right, so I pulled the first ones out, went ahead and stuck a meat probe thermometer into the center of the little pieces, made sure they're up to temp, checked them, make sure they were flaking, everything was good on that. And so the ones that already came out have just been dusted with a little bit of lemon pepper seasoning, as suggested by the cowboy himself. And these last bit ones, just about done. Just want to break down that foam that's building. Now, folks at home, a couple things if you make these. I would suggest making these. I mean, I haven't tasted them yet, but in terms of structurally, they are done through. And they definitely have a tighter texture to them than the standard piece of cooked whitefish would have. You're going to want to have a nice big pot. Cowboy did mention that. You want to have a nice big pot. This is the biggest pot I have. And you're going to want to have a real, either electric, preferably gas, heating service. I'm doing things the way I'm doing them for reasons. And I don't have haven't had the opportunity to get an electric burner to use to make things for you guys yet. And I really wanted to make this recipe. And so just note on that, you're going to want to have the power, because you're going to want to have a big, full, roaring boil on this sucker. And I think your fish is going to come out better than, I don't want to say better, but your fish is going to come out better than perhaps mine did, even though mine's coming out fine. And then when you're done here, I guess you could just cool this off and put it over ice, and you got you some lemon shake-up. I don't actually suggest doing that, but that's essentially what's in a lemon shake-up is lemon and sugar water. You can see these look, I mean, they look like lobster, legit. So it looks like it's done the job. And folks, if you have a garbage disposal at home, go ahead and put your lemons through the disposal with them running. It'll freshen that, clean up that disposal real nice for you. That's a little pro tip. I don't think I've given you guys a pro tip in a while. So that's a pro tip. Anytime if you juice a lemon, you're gonna, instead of throwing that rind away, if you have an electric garbage disposal, go ahead and cut it into pieces about that size and put it down your disposal. Now, where I currently live, I've got no disposal. All right, it's eating time. Got our finished fish. I'm just going to come back and dust this with a little bit of lemon pepper. And then we've got our pre-made butter sauce. And then we've got some rice and orzo pilaf that I made. Box one from the store, and I added about a cup of frozen green beans, some garlic, some lemon pepper, cilantro to this when I microwaved it. Actually, the cilantro and basil came in after it came out and mixed it in. And then after it was done, I also mixed in just about a half a tablespoon of butter additionally. So let's give this a try, see how it came out. Perfect. Got your veggies, got your carbs, good flavor, nothing wrong with that. All right, now it's the time we've been waiting for. Let's see, was I able to poor man's lobster? You always got to dip your lobster in the butter, right? Oh, wow. Oh, my. It worked. It worked. Wow. About halfway through, I thought we were going to have a bonus episode that was going to be a fail, but this... Let me go in again. That one was perfectly cooked, and it had the texture and taste of lobster. I mean, really, all the taste is in lobsters in the butter. That worked, folks. If you didn't quite get it from my recipe, Cowboy Kent's original, but this works. This is a work. This is a win. Oh my! I will definitely do this again after or when I'm not filming it and I can cook it on a real stove. Get enough BTU. So I think they would have came out a little bit better had I had a more full roaring boil. I think they would have cooked faster. And me, abundance of caution, playing with fish, I wanted to make sure they were cooked through, so I left them in there a little bit longer. So I do think if you had a little more, let's say a little more BTUs behind your pot, maybe a slightly deeper pot, I think they would have came out even better. Wow. Cowboy Kent Rollins, you're a genius, man. Winner, winner. Poor man's lobster dinner, folks. All right, there it is. Poor man's lobster from Cowboy Kent Rollins. But I'm Jim Johnston, and this has been another episode of Cook It and Eat It here on Jim Johnston Reviews the World, where it's my channel, so I'll do whatever the heck I want, including trying some harebrained recipe that I've never tried before. And folks, this is a win. Hopefully I'll be able to edit this, make it all nice for you so it makes sense, and you'll be able to try this at home. Bon appetit. No longer is lobster and fancy seafood out of reach. Get you some halibut, some boiling water, lemon, and sugar, some drawn butter, and you'll have a meal fit for royalty. We'll see you next time, folks, here on Cook It and Eat It.